Hey everybody, have you considered starting a podcast? We here at Screwball highly recommend Podbean for getting your podcast out to a larger audience. Podbean has given us the opportunity to easily bring you Screwball each and every week on all of your favorite podcast services. Use the link podbean.com/screwball to sign up and save up to 35% annually. You can also use the link podbean.com/pro/screwball to sign up for a business subscription. Happy podcasting. Hey everybody, welcome back to Screwball, a baseball podcaster, home for everything baseball. I'm your host Mike Lepre here with my co-host Frank White.
Hey, how's it going?
This is episode 132 of Screwball, and we have finally reached the end of the season with the 2022 World Series between the Astros and the Phillies. We missed last week due to I was on vacation, plus the fact that the World Series, we would have had nothing to talk about because the World Series didn't end until...
about 2 games to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing to talk about, so... we missed last week, but we are back this week to recap the World Series in its entirety instead of getting it choppy. So we had a 6-game World Series. The Astros won. Jeremy Pena was your World Series MVP. Which is pretty amazing. He won I think he broke a bunch of records for first rookie shortstop to do this, that, and the other thing. Hard-fought series by both teams. The Astros looked unbeatable at certain points. The Phillies looked unbeatable at certain points. I mean, they came out first game at Philly, they won 7-0, and it wasn't even close. And the Astros come back and throw a no-hitter. So, really good World Series, I thought. I thought the Phillies fell a little flat. I thought the Astros played their style of ball all postseason. I thought they were just tough to beat. Pitching was very good on their side. Phillies, the magic ran out just a little too soon. Just 2 games too soon, really. They just need to find 2 more wins. But I wouldn't hang my head if I'm a Phillies fan because it was a magical run. I know it obviously sucks to not get over the mountain, but the fact that you kind of had you have a good team. And this is a team that you and I had talked about all season had the potential to do this.
Oh, we had it in the preseason prediction. I said, this is a team that has a chance to go relatively deep. I didn't pick them because of the strength of that division, but I said, this is a team that can do it.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, the fact that they got here shows the strength of that roster. They had a pretty good bullpen, strong. Yeah, exactly. They had hot hitters. They had timely hitting. The starting core just with Nola and Wheeler right back to back is tough to beat in the postseason.
Ranger Suarez down the stretch.
Ranger Suarez was tough as nails. Noah Syndergaard put in good starts. The team was just tough, and like I had said, Frank and I were kind of big dark horse supporters of them. As far as I wouldn't just take them lightly. Even if the NL East, they had the Braves and the Mets are 100-win teams. Coming into the postseason, a lot of people had them winning it all, either team.
Yeah, who was the Phillies? They come in and play the Cardinals, and if it wasn't for a bad decision, where are the Cardinals?
Yeah, that's true. Like I said, it's not good to lose the World Series because you get that far, you want to win it. But as a Philly, for me, on the outside looking in at the Phillies, I thought it was a great run, and I think that you have a future to look forward to. It's not like this was it and this is the window's closing.
No, this is
I
just
think
opening.
That's right.
Because they're willing to put the money in, and they know that we got to win.
Yeah.
And we got to show that we are the NL East.
Yeah, exactly. So. They could sit right up with the big dogs of the Braves and the Mets.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good run by them.
Yeah, I think the World Series was a well-played World Series. It was baseball compared to the AL side there, the championship side. I thought it was good baseball. Underdog, favorite, big-time favorite, big-time underdog. But good baseball. Pena, MVP, I don't know, hit the snot out of the ball. He got hot at the right time. Yordan put on a show there. And that leads me to my points here. Yordan crushed that ball. Towels Hill, no Towels Hill. That ball's way out of here. Robbie Thompson didn't make many mistakes from the second he took over that job. But the Zach Wheeler mistake there, pulling him out, I think was a problem. Now, yeah. I heard Zach Wheeler dead arm, and they didn't want to overpitch him because he was dealing with some arm issues, so I completely get that. I do get that. But I think as we said with the Yankees, with Garrett Cole and Boone, you live and die by your ace. If my ace can't get me out of that, I lose. But that's why I pay him. To bring in Jose Alvarado there, sure, lefty, I get it. Alvarez is a better average hitter, apparently, against lefties, if you look up his stats.
Well, you seen The Mariners tried the lefty-lefty approach against him.
I think I'm paying my ace to get out of that jam. I think that was one of the few mistakes Thompson made all year.
Yeah, I agree.
But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know, you bring a lefty-lefty, you bring in a guy, you know. I knew that matchup was the second I seen your Don coming up, and I said, well, if he throws a fastball, this thing's out of here.
Yeah.
Crushed the first one, foul. Missile foul. Threw 2 off-speed pitches to do another fastball. Bang. Missed a spot, but it was 9,900 miles per hour, and it was absolutely just mammoth out the center field. It wasn't even, he hit the ball. I was like, all right, this series is over.
Yeah.
And for the Phillies, the bat stopped, which is kind of what you were kind of afraid of. The bats were hot and cold bats, and they just kind of stopped there. A couple too many home runs, right, in Game 3. You saved some of them, right? In Game 4, they came out ice cold, which kind of leads me to all my points here. Astros didn't play enough playoff games to run themselves cold. I mean, think about it. A hot streak lasts 10, 15 games. Some of the real good ones last 20 games. How many games of playoffs did they play?
What, 13?
They played 2 or 3 in the divisional series.
They went 7-0 up to the World Series.
So they played 7, and then they played 6. That's 13 games.
Yeah.
It's part of a hot streak. It's literally part of a hot streak.
Yep.
Which you can say, oh, well, how many teams, you don't play many more games. Well, Mariners win one of them games. The Yankees win 1 or 2 of them games. It's a little bit different. A little bit, you put more innings on the arms. You know, it's not a hot streak at that point. You know, they were 8-1, 9-1. What the hell's going on here?
Right.
These guys are unbeatable. They got to play a couple more games. I think the Mariners would have beat a game. The Yankees would have took 2 games. That helps the Phillies. Being able to, because then look, the Phillies would have swept. The Phillies would have won, I mean, they almost did, essentially, but they would have won one less game. They had played the wild card series, too.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. They came 2 games short. They don't play that wild card series. They win the World Series.
Yeah, that's true.
The Astros just didn't play enough games to cool off. And that's part of being the number 1 seed and taking care of business where it needs to be taken care of. Bat stopped. We've seen a no-hitter. It's a combined no-hitter. It is what it is. I'm not a fan of those. Dusty Baker finally gets his World Series. Does this put him as one of the greatest managers of all time now? Yes. By simply getting a World Series puts him as one of the greatest of all time.
I agree.
And the inventor of the high five.
Oh, my God. Stop.
But that's besides the point. My biggest thing here, though, thought the World Series was fine. Good baseball. Good for Philly. They had people on the roof of the stadium watching the game.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely chaotic.
Yeah.
Astros, they won a World Series.
This is their first
AKA
one.
non-cheating, as now we'll see when things come out, right?
Yeah.
It always comes out later, but non-cheating so far. Good for them. Good for a lot of the Astros guys and fans and things like that. But my 2 things here, what is the absolute inability for anybody to hit a curveball? Oh, the Astros, they pitched great. No one hit a curveball in the whole postseason. These curveball, they're all good curveball pitchers, and they're good curveballs, yeah. But no one hit one. We don't see curveballs in baseball anymore, right? This is sliders. Verlander has one.
Right.
And McCullers has one. And Valdez has one. And look what happened.
Yeah.
Wainwright has one. He pitched great. Maybe the old kind of loopy curveball is the key, which is, I'm surprised, because I don't know, if you grew up playing baseball, everyone had a curveball.
It was fastball, curveball.
No one had a slider and changeup and all that other crap. So you kind of grew up hitting a curveball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know it's different, but to be shut down by one pitch on every player, to be shut down by curveballs, is kind of mystifying.
Yeah.
And in most cases, I think if you don't swing the bat against those curveballs, you literally are getting walked all the time. And I get that. You can say that about all these pitches, sliders too, but it just seems that the curveball, to be locked down like that curveball was, for the whole Astros curveball, for all their pitchers. I mean, that's just, I found that hard to believe.
Yeah, I agree.
I really found that hard to believe. So, are we in an age where curveballs need to make a comeback because no one's hitting them?
Mm-hmm.
I think so at this point after watching that playoff run. And, the last thing I kind of had here is what's next for these 2 teams. We're not gonna get into this because this is part of our upcoming shows and stuff.
Mm.
But what's next here? The Astros have some questions from free agents.
Mm.
Verlander, what are you doing, right? We got to start paying some of these guys, right? Kyle Tucker and Bregman and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Pena's coming up. Catching position, well,
It's,
no, it really didn't give you. I mean, playoffs need to give you whatever it is, but pitching wise, you got to kind of figure that out. I think the bullpen for the Astros is going to kind of. I don't think a lot of them are on long deals.
right.
But my biggest thing with the Michael Brantley's a free agent, even though you didn't have him, but just a leader. Trey Mancini, I believe, is a free agent. Yuli Gurriel's a free agent. So you have some, missing pieces and some aging pieces as well. Altuve really didn't do much in the playoffs. He's getting older. Does Dusty Baker even come back? I don't think he has a contract.
I don't know where he's at.
I don't think he has a contract for the Astros. I really don't.
I'm not sure.
And if he does, I think it's 1 year left.
Yeah, it's not long, if it is.
Does he come back? Oldest manager in baseball. Finally got his World Series. Why come back? Why step on the field again? Why not go out with the World Series that you've been managing for 30 years, 28 years?
Something like that.
All the heartbreaks, the Bartman incidents, the Giants Angels up 2 games, up 3-1, I believe. The Reds collapse, right? The infield fly, I believe, with the Nationals against the Cardinals. The Strasburg incident, right? I think that was Dusty as the manager there, wasn't it? I think Dusty came in after that, actually.
Yeah, because I know
But they were up in that series against
Davey
the
Johnson was there for a while.
Yeah, I think he came in after that, but he was up in the Cardinals too, the next year, or the year he came in, with Harper won MVP. All the heartbreaks. The Astros last year. The Astros the year before. Did he even step on the field again? So that's a big question, because that was big to the Astros. Dusty Baker was able to just carry over just one big step over the dirty puddle there and just carried his team to winning, which we said when he first hired him, that's the guy. That was the perfect guy. Him or Showalter were the perfect men to fix this problem.
Yeah.
If I'm Dusty Baker and World Series hangover and stuff, do you even step back on the field? Because next year, there's a chance this team's probably not going to be the same because of the World Series and things like that. So, and then I retire after that. It's like, just retire now.
Right.
I love Dusty Baker, but do you step back on the field? That's a big, big, big question for the Astros and Houston.
Yeah,
I don't know if
didn't
he has
really
a
think about it.
contract, but that's a big. I mean, Peyton Manning idea, right? Just walk away. I won. I'm out of here.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere but retire on top,
And he's the oldest manager. He's 76, I believe.
I don't know if he was that old.
I'm pretty sure he's 76, 74, maybe. Might be 74. He's up in the, he's about mid-70s, I believe. So that's a big question for the Astros. On the Phillies side, you're okay. You had some free agents and things, but you're willing to spend. Hard division. A better start to the year, though.
Yeah.
So I think the Phillies, it's tough to get back, but I think Philadelphia's okay. They just got to be willing to put some more money up and play their style of baseball, which they think after Girardi and Thompson came in and the players had their players on the meeting, they kind of looked at each other and said, this is what I do. And this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
And just play my style of baseball. Castellanos has to have a better year. Real Muto has to have a better first half. Harper stays healthy. Sorber has to have a little bit better average. Your pitching's still going to be there. I mean, what are you? Some of the young Bryson Stott had a good back half of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Down the stretch, Hoskins. So they're okay. They're okay. They got some moves to make. I don't think this is the last word of the Phillies.
No.
But I'm not going to say that they're going to be perennial, keep getting there.
No.
But they have the potential to keep getting there. So as a Phillies fan, this one hurts. But it shows you that this team could do whatever they want to do for as long as they want to do it, as hot as they got there. And fought through a lot of stuff. So they can just kind of avoid the manager firing and the bad start and the injuries of their superstar. And kind of just be not in the headlines. The bad headlines. Where does this team go? Up?
You'd like to think.
The division, I don't think, is going to get much better than it was. 201 win teams.
Yeah.
Nationals ain't getting no better. Marlins will slowly get better. They'll be better next year, I think. Mets, I don't think they get better at this point. 101 wins, it's hard to get better.
Yeah, hard to beat that.
Braves, they can easily be better. But 101 wins is tough. At worst, both teams show up to be the same.
Right.
And you knew you could compete there. So,
True.
Phillies, I think they're okay. I think the Astros, again, have more questions to answer.
Mm-hmm.
Dusty, Verlander, Gurriel, Mancini, guys like that. So I think they have more questions. and a World Series hangover, while the Phillies are going to be kind of hungry, and I think they feel like they have a better shot of, hey, maybe we can hang around here for a while.
Yeah.
And we're the bad boys at the end, at least. So that's kind of where I'm at here, wrapping up this World Series this season. It was a really weird, great season for baseball, and I'm very happy Dusty Baker got a World Series. Obviously, I struggled with our Astros here. Didn't mind Altuve after the thing, that really hurt. I was an Altuve fan going into that, Yordan Alvarez, absolutely love, so good. He got his. Bregman, I'm not a big fan of his. Brantley, happy he keeps, continues his thing. But Dusty Baker was a big, and the loyal Astro fans to deal with that, to get through that. So good for them. And Philly, they'll be okay, I think. I think they'll be okay. I think the city of Philly is getting some winning teams.
Yeah, they sure are.
Sixers have been competitive last couple years after that monstrosity. Eagles we know where they're at right now, 8-0. I know the Flyers are probably the last team, but
yeah.
I think they're young. I think they'll be okay eventually here in the next couple of years. Even that soccer team was in the championship, if you're a soccer fan. So
yeah.
The city turned to winning again.
Yeah.
Which always helps everything. So I think Philly will be okay. They should keep their heads high and know that they kind of went a long ways this year where they shouldn't have, after all they dealt with.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, they had a good year. Phillies, I don't want to retread all the ground you just kind of talked about. But, by the way, Dusty Baker, 73, and the Astros already engaged in talks to keep him.
Because he's not under contract.
I believe so, yeah. I couldn't find it this quick, but they're already in talks to extend his contract. They want to keep him, which I think...
don't know.
For him, I don't know. For him personally, for the Astros...
Astros, you got if you don't sign him, I mean, what are you going to bring AJ Hinch back?
Yeah, right. But from Dusty Baker, from a personal, professional standpoint, where he's feeling, you don't have to. You could just walk and be like, you know what,
You never had to come back to this to begin with.
No.
But that World Series ring as a manager, he has one as a player, not being on his, he had his gloves on when he won, but his hands, not being in that dugout with that manager ring, boy, that hurts.
Yeah.
Look at Showalter. Jason.
Oh, yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts. And when you're that good at your job and you just can't win for Bartman and blowing a 3-1 lead and pop-ups and Cueto dropping the ball on the mound and just everything. You just can't win. You have MVPs. It's like, what is the problem?
Yeah.
I slapped high five once and created that, and now I can't win a World Series. Like,
yeah, you can get all the way there.
I just need to win that, and I won't see me no more.
Yeah.
And I really think Dusty at this point really should just be like, you know what?
Call it a career.
I've been to baseball everything I could have been.
Yeah.
He almost feels like Don Zimmer.
Yeah.
He's just been there and done every little bit of baseball.
It's like a lifetime baseball.
Like he played
everything.
with Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
Like Don Zimmer. Then he met Babe Ruth and met these guys when he was a kid. Like, he was baseball,
yeah.
right? Remember when they always talked about the stories when he passed away?
Yeah.
Dusty's the same. He played with Hank Aaron, He went through the Braves and the Dodgers and slapping high fives and World Series and getting hit by pitch a million times and fighting people and just getting that. Just been everywhere.
Yeah.
Managing everything. Been Bartman, the 3-1 series in the World Series. He's been in history of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere you turn.
Yep.
And now he's finally put the cherry on the top. Just wrap her up, Dusty.
Yeah.
73, 74, going to be. Go broadcast a little bit and enjoy.
Yeah,
Get that Hall of Fame jacket.
I agree. I think he doesn't have anything left to prove. He got over the mountain that he could just never eclipse. This was one of his best shots. This Astros team played fantastic.
For him.
Yeah.
Which kind of tells you maybe, not that they don't always play for, but it was public all year that it was for Dusty.
Yeah.
That kind of know, maybe he kind of sprinkled out the idea that this was going to kind of be it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But he brought this Astro team back from the cheating scandal, which I think is an underappreciated thing on his part because I know everyone likes to hate on the Astros. I certainly do. But to bring them back from that and to reach this World Series the year after you lose Carlos Correa, and you bring in Jeremy Pena, rookie shortstop, who won you the championship series MVP and the World Series MVP, is amazing.
It's unbelievable. And I think they had one lefty in their bullpen all year.
I think you're right. Yeah.
That's unbelievable in itself. aging ace off of Tommy John. Lance McCullers is coming off an injury, missed half a year.
Yep.
I mean, they had also close. Real quick before I get into this next point. Trey Mancini deal with his thing to win the World Series after being with Baltimore, and his cancer thing was unbelievable.
Yeah.
That was also just a great story. Big play in Game 5 there, falling on the ball there. So
Yeah.
essentially, the ball found him. I don't know how he fell to that, but the Astros, Dusty Baker. I mean, there's not many people that's ever stepped in the field of baseball that gathered, and just took and demanded respect like Dusty Baker.
I agree.
So you had all that, and he stepped in that team, and he I almost felt like he punched the idea of people talking about that cheating team right out the window when he stepped. He's like, we're not listening to this crap. And then to have people, it wasn't many people, don't get me wrong, but people root for them.
Yeah.
And then when he won the World Series, I mean, people, they were like, yes, good.
Yeah.
That's hard to believe. It was 3 years ago. You had the Black Sox scandal, essentially.
Yep.
I mean, we still can't root for Barry Bonds or Roger Clemens or So McGuire for steroids.
Yeah.
And we just kind of let that go because Dusty Baker garners that respect and deserves that respect and demanded it, and he got it.
Yeah.
And that's the idea that they could put a statue for Dusty Baker for Houston. I wouldn't be surprised. He literally brought them from the dead.
Yeah. I think that's an underappreciated fact of the Astros this year was that he brought them back to this point. If you bring in
Immediately.
Yeah, it didn't take 10 years or whatever. It was like he took the team that they had, granted already a good team, and brought them back from the dead. And I don't think, that's an X factor you can't quantify with, whatever advanced stats you want to use, advanced sabermetrics.
Yeah. And did the possibly the COVID year not having fans, did that help? It definitely did.
I'm sure it did.
Not getting quite the immediate beatdown.
Yeah.
But he really did a number here. This was his greatest masterpiece, and I think this was his greatest baseball achievement. Was this World Series team, running this team and winning that World Series as a manager, I think is his greatest baseball achievement. I don't know if there's one better.
No, the
He
only
as a
thing.
player, and he's got some good moments as a player.
Yeah, the only thing that he did that's more impressive is he gave the world the high five.
Him and Glenn Burke.
I don't think you could.
October 2nd, 1977.
Incredible. I don't think you could eclipse that. He gave the world a high five.
Yeah. On the moon, but never high-fived.
No,
But he
still
gave us-
incredible.
He gave us, incredible. It's incredible. Stuck his hand up, so I just slapped it. That's the actual quote. So,
Just go look it up if you haven't already.
yeah, it's
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's. I don't know.
We're just being pranked.
I don't know how we're doing that. Yeah, he probably high-fived Ray Schalk and those all hell.
No,
breaks loose,
no.
so. But that's kind of where I stood though. That's kind of where I stood with this.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of wanted to wrap it up with those kind of question marks and what we're going to look at, but gotta love Dusty and toothpicks.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, the toothpicks and the gloves.
Yeah.
You know.
He just he was he felt like he was very important to baseball here in these last couple of years, more than I think people will ever realize. Not
I
quite the
agree.
McGuire with the steroids, and we kind of needed them home runs to kind of save baseball there, or Babe Ruth after the Black Sox scandal, but pretty close. An underdog there, a dark horse there.
Yeah.
The respect that he brought back to baseball in the Astros is something that I think won't be quantified until many years down the road. Now that scandal kind of got swept under, I think, and I think Dusty had a big part in that, and I'd like to thank him for that,
Yeah.
and he's well deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. Legendary, future Hall of Fame manager, if not already. Finally gets his World Series, so good for him. Astros played great ball. Can't really say enough good things about their play. Anytime you made a mistake on field, they capitalized on it. Any big moment, they made it.
When they had to respond, they responded.
Yep.
Schwarber hits a home run, Game 6, and Jordan immediately hits a home run in that inning too. It's like, well, there it goes.
Yeah, it was like no messing around with the team. Great defense. They just played fundamental ball. The starting pitching was tremendous out of them. They threw a no-hitter combined. I know it's not
Again.
quite like with the same starter and closer.
Most of the relievers.
Yeah. The relief corps was incredible. Brian Abreu and Ryan Presley, I don't think, gave up a hit, more or less. So just an incredible performance by them. Phillies have nothing to be ashamed about. I think they're still on the come up. I think this isn't the last you'll see of them. And just an overall good series. I'm glad it went 6. I'm glad it wasn't just a clean sweep and out of here. And, yeah, I'm happy for Dusty Baker. I'm happy for Trey Mancini, Yordan Alvarez, and all these guys in the Astros team. And, yeah, I don't really have much else without kind of, again, retreading what you already said. I don't want to keep just going around in circles about it. But congrats to the Astros. Congrats to the Phillies. They won a pennant, which is, something that a lot of teams can't say. So...
And I know we're going to keep going in circles and circles, but to win a pennant this year out of the NL East was had to be sweet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Braves, they won the World Series, and the Mets are the Mets are the best team ever assembled, and then the Phillies are falling apart. They fired the manager. Laughing stock, right? Bang. Mike Tyson uppercut, and done. There we are. We won the pennant.
Yep. Out of nowhere.
Yeah, go somewhere else. And the Dodgers, they're the best team ever. Just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And the Padres, all these moves, and the Cardinals just kind of legacy there, right? And just get out of here.
Incredible.
Just kind of that hard-nosed, tough Philly mindset. That was it. That team resembled that, man. That had something. Philly is going to be here for a while. They got to keep that mindset. They got to keep that. We're Philly. We're Philly. You're Philly. We're Philly together. Kind of mountain base with the fan base, and I think they can continue to have success.
Yeah, and keep the core that they have, and just add to it. Don't try to, I don't think, mess with the.
Don't shuffle a lot.
Yeah.
Just kind of put in a couple.
Fix the bullpen.
Couple twigs.
Yeah.
Instead of sticks.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
So.
But yeah, that's. I mean, I don't really have much else. Just great series, good for both teams. Astros played very well, and they deserve it.
Yeah,
that's kind of it.
Yeah, that's all I had. And the last thing I got here is a trivia question. Obviously, regarding the World Series, Jeremy Pena became the 9th player to win both an LCS and World Series MVP in the same year. He's only the 2nd rookie to ever do it. Who was the first rookie to win an LCS and World Series MVP in the same year? The answer: in 1997, Livan Hernandez won both MVPs. With a great pitching stats there.
Yeah.
The last player to do it before Pena of any time, doesn't have to be a rookie, was in 2020. Corey Seager did it, and the first player to ever do it was 1979 Willie Stargell. The first rookie, which was the trivia question, Pena became the 2nd. Who was the first rookie? 1997 Livan Hernandez with the Florida Marlins.
Yeah, not only did I not know that he had won it that year, the World Series MVP, but I forgot he was a rookie even that season. But yeah, 97 Marlins, that historic year. I thought it was Edgar Renteria because I believe he was a rookie that year. Correct? I don't think I was far off with that.
If he wasn't a rookie, he was like a second year.
It was
the
awfully
97
close.
team, they beat the unbelievable then Cleveland Indians. Unbelievable team they had, and then the Marlins.
Yeah.
Coming up, there was a bunch of rookies. They got $5 to their name, and they don't even have a stadium, and come in and just beat a powerhouse.
Yeah, and did it at 03 again with a different set of rookies
and the same
nobodies.
Concept with the idea that beat a powerhouse.
Yeah, they beat the Yankees in 03 with a team that was just kind of up and coming. Miguel Cabrera.
Kind of put the finishing touches on that dynasty for the Yankees.
Yeah, it did.
That loss. Not that it was quite the same team, but kind of put the final touches on, like, all right, that's window's kind of closed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where we're at. That's baseball.
Yeah.
That's the season. That's 2022. We'll come back with some awards in the coming weeks and season recap and off-season lookout and a bunch of stuff here. That's our plan here. And the lockout gave us one thing, by the way.
What's that?
Prolong the season about a week or so. So we have one less week to worry to get the pitchers and catchers.
Well, at least there's that.
So shortened it up a little bit. A little less space between baseball.
Yeah.
So, good.
We'll take it.
We'll take that. So the lockout did help us with that a little bit. And no lockout going into this offseason where we can have finally baseball. Baseball talk. No COVID. No cheating. No lockouts. Well, we have Manfred changing the rules. But it's pretty much just baseball in the offseason. No unbelievable headlines that just cause just a ruckus.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun for the first time since what? We were in
Oh,
college.
God. Yeah, it feels like, yeah.
Believable.
I know.
Just can't just be like, hey, we're over here in the off season. It's always like, look at us fucking everything up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, great season. We'll get more into it in the coming weeks, and we'll have more to talk about. But for now, World Series was fun. The whole playoffs as a whole were fun. Really some ups and downs and surprises. The Phillies with a big surprise.
Yeah.
And, again, we'll get into more in the coming weeks, so I don't want to give too much away. But great season. I feel good about the 2022 season. And I feel like there was a lot to like, as far as milestones, Judge and Pujols, stuff like that. I think it's a memorable season. Dusty Baker getting his World Series. I feel pretty good about the season as a whole. So
Yeah. Definitely had its surprises.
it sure did. Yeah, just the Phillies alone was enough for me.
Yeah.
Mariners making the playoffs for the first time in 21 years, is outstanding for them.
And the history that the league seen this year. And we'll go into that when we hit our recap there. But
Right.
that's where we're at. Again, 6 games of a World Series is a good series.
Yeah, only came one short of getting the most games you can, so I will take that. But, I mean, unless you have anything else, that's kind of all we got for the 2022 season. We'll come back with a recap and off-season outlook and awards and all kinds of crap coming. So, for now, that's all I got to wrap up the 2022 season for at least this episode.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. You can catch this podcast on Apple Podcasts, as well as Google Podcasts and Spotify. You can listen on our regularly updated YouTube channel, as well as our website, screwball.podbean.com. You can follow me on Twitter at @RealMikeLepre. You can follow me on Instagram at Mike Lepre.
And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at FDubs10.
You can follow our official Screwball Twitter at ScrewballPod. You can follow our official Screwball Facebook at ScrewballPod. No E in Screw. And that's it from us, guys. We'll see you next week.
Yep, take care.